Mario and his friends are amazing at sports, to an insane degree. Like, how is Wario able to perform a bicycle kick like this? Just look at his figure! But have you ever wondered which sports team your favorite Mario character roots for? Well, I know I have, and with football season right around the corner, now seems as good a time as any to get right into it so we can find out which one of these Mario characters are heartbroken on Mondays and which ones are texting their friends about how great of a game it was the night before. And there's no better way to do that than to break it down here in a YouTube video. What's up? It's Nick Vez of Nick Vez Gaming. And I bet you're asking yourself, what qualifications does this man have to determine which Mario character gets to like which sports team? Well, I've been a Mario fan since before they made officially licensed Mario Halloween costumes, and a Rams fan since they were the St. Louis Rams. And I have a Rams podcast called Rams Brothers the Pod. So I kind of got my feet in all the ponds here. So let's break it down right now, right here. The rules are simple. While Mario and Luigi are the only two characters who are canonically from a US city, that leaves everyone else open to blatant interpretation. While my choices for these characters are never specified in the canon, and they probably never will be, I do believe they are all accurate based on each character's personality. I know you don't pick your sports team based on your personality, but let's say Mario showed all his friends these organized sports from his home world, and they picked their choices based on that. And if we're being honest, most, if not all, Mario characters have pretty cookie-cutter personalities, so this might be a little easier said than done. But I've never strayed away from a challenge. I've 100% at DK, Bonanza, and 101% at DK64. So let's get into it. So without further Mountain Dew, let's break down the stars of the show, the Super Brooklyn Mario Brothers. Like I said, Mario and Luigi are the only two who we know are from a actual US city, New York. So you'd think, okay, simple enough. But we're not here for simple. The way I look at it, Mario and Luigi have been in competition since birth. Their dad always had them playing against each other growing up. I mean, just look at the babies. They're literally in every Mario sports game. And just naturally, like most brothers close in age, like me and my bro, we'd always be competing one way or another. And since this is the case, I actually think they picked different teams. Luckily for them, New York has two sets of teams in everything, so this worked out perfectly. Mario naturally got to pick his favorite teams first, being the older brother and all, and he likes blue and red. So as a kid, I believe Mario would have picked the Giants, the Rangers, the Yankees, and the Knicks. All of them suiting Mario quite well. Luigi then picked the New York teams that were left, and with Luigi's luck, those teams happened to be the Mets, the Jets, the Islanders, and also the Knicks, because I think it's fair to think that both brothers would have picked the Knicks so they can root for them together. Also, in the 80s, the Nets were still in New Jersey, so I don't think Luigi would have picked them over the Knicks. And just think about this. Mario and Luigi coming together after having all those rivalries and all those other sports, courtside, next to Chalamet and Stiller, during that NBA Finals run this last year with the Knicks. Oh my God, that would have been amazing. Mario was there for the 2 Eli rings, while Luigi is just sitting there waiting for the Jets to not be a horrible franchise anymore. They always go together to the Subway Series, and they try to go to every Rangers-Islanders game in Madison Square Garden. I think these teams suit the brothers perfectly, and would think most people would agree on this. Luigi getting the unlucky sports teams like Luigi's Mansion and the Jets being that putrid green, and Mario being the face of New York with the Giants and the Rangers and the Yankees. You just love to see it. There's also like a 100% chance that Mario and his dad both love Tommy DeVito. Moving on from the brothers to their ladies, let's start with Peach, just by looking at her. Seeing her elegance, her class, her beauty, her blonde hair. This, to me, is an LA baby. Can't you just picture her courtside at a Lakers game sitting next to Jack, sunglasses on inside, not really knowing what's going on her phone a lot, but still there and supporting the team? Maybe because it just gets her on TV, or maybe she actually cares, but either way, real Kardashian vibes from Princess Peach in this scenario. Look, she'd rock the hell out of some Dodgers gear, particularly a pink Dodgers hat that spends a lot of time with her on the beach or at a bougie brunch. She has a Rams hat as well, and she roots for them sometimes. She was at the parade in 2021, but probably can't name any players other than Stafford and Cooper Kupp, who's no longer on the team, Peach. I would also say she owns an LA Kings jersey, but only because she met a Kings player at Shellbacks once and went to the game for free. That may be a little too inside baseball, but Peach to me screams fair weather LA fan. Never really worrying because it seems like every other year her team is either in the championship or wins one, so she's always happy. She'll go with Mario to a Knicks game, but I think she'd care about that even less than she cares about the Lakers games. But, she'll sit next to him. Maybe throw on a Knicks hat, a la Kendall Jenner and Chalamet. Kendall Jenner. Daisy, on the other hand, was hard at first, but it was so obvious after I sat to think about it. Daisy has a lot of aggression and angst in her personality. She's loud, she's honest, she's strong-willed. So naturally, she's a Boston fan. She's been to every parade. She loves her Patriots, but she also loves her Bruins, her Sox, and the Celtics just as much. She does not play favorites. She goes hard for every single one of her teams. I can just picture her at a bar on Sundays singing Sweet Caroline in her Patriots Tom Brady jersey, yelling at the top of her lungs the ba 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 when the Pats score a touchdown, followed by a "Hi, I'm Daisy." She knows puck too. She knows puck very well. She hated when the Bruins traded Marchand to the Panthers, but she still rooted for him to lift that cup and was very happy because he deserved it. It's also very fitting that her Pats always dominate Luigi's Jets. Daisy easily the most Boston girl ever, and Luigi admires her passion for the sports and tells her it's okay to raise their kids as Boston fans because God knows he does not want to curse them with his Jets and Mets lore. Moving on to my favorite here, Wario, the character that actually gave me the idea for this whole video, because when you try and think about what city Wario would be a fan of, you get stuck. But when you think about what teams he'd be a fan of, it starts to get obvious. Wario's from the 90s. He's the type of guy who picks winners. So who did this slimeball pick? Well, that's easy. His teams are the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the Yankees. Everyone knows one of these guys just has a team from all over the map, and you wonder, what's the correlation of these teams? Oh, right, they were all good when you were a kid. That's Wario to a T. He has no affiliation with these cities. He just cares about winning, and luckily for him, one of his teams is always in the hunt because he picked the teams with the most championships at the time. I bet, though, when the Cowboys get knocked out of the playoffs every year early, Wario pulls out like a Kansas City Chiefs hat that he bought recently, and he's wondering how long he has to stay a Cowboys fan if they keep sucking. Also, he's obviously a big sports bettor and only tells you the times when he wins, and he never tells you about his losses, which is just classic Wario.
Oh my God!
Let's keep the villainous streak going here with Bowser, and yeah, he's the villain. And what city thrives on being the villain? The city with the worst fans in all of sports, but they think that's a good thing and they take it with a badge of honor? Yeah, come on. It's obviously Philly. He's the loudest, rudest, and most evil Eagles fan at the tailgate. He will blow you up if you're walking around in another team's jersey and will spit at your feet as you walk by. He cares about each of his teams, but he is a madman during Red October or when the Eagles are in the playoffs. The kind of guy when his team loses, you just want to stay out of his way entirely. This was another easy one for me. I mean, the Philly fans literally have a song that goes, "We're from Philly, effing Philly, no one likes us, we don't care." How could I put Bowser anywhere else? It's very easy to imagine Bowser in the middle of Broad Street with all of his henchmen after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, just destroying the city and saying it was because they were quote-unquote celebrating. Really? When my team wins, I don't want to destroy the city I live in. But hey, you do you, Philly, I guess. If you ever catch Bowser at a Flyers game, just do not make eye contact with him because he is absolutely looking for a fight. Also, I love the fact that the Giants and the Eagles are in the same division, so that Bowser and Mario rivalry will stay intact, even if it feels like David versus Goliath most of the time. Then moving on to his son, Bowser Jr., you'd think he'd just follow his dad, but no, little guy has to be different. I feel like the next generation of fans, the Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas, are a little different than us millennials and boomers. They care less about the cities that they come from, and they gravitate more towards individual players, at least when they're young. Maybe he'll come back around to Philly teams to follow his dad when he gets older, but Bowser Jr. strikes me as a kid that wants to make his own path. To me, Bowser Jr. is a huge Lamar Jackson fan and a huge Luka Doncic fan, and that's about it. I don't think he's truly old enough to care about baseball or hockey outside the games that his dad brings him to, but nothing really sticks with him as much as those two star players. I mean, he probably has a Philly and Flyers jersey somewhere in the house with Junior written on the back of them, but I think he goes exceptionally hard for Lamar, and likewise with Luka, and probably runs one of those TikTok accounts where they do those like sick edits for players. That is the kind of kid Bowser Jr. strikes me as. I also think he probably watches Premier League or like FS1, like the car racing thing. He's probably like a Liverpool fan or something random like that. I don't know. Following up with Bowser Jr. is Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Now, these two lax dudes just strike me as San Diego fans. I've never met a rough-riding San Diego Padres fan.
On the loose. Let's go, Goose. That's what's in.
So I feel like that really fits these two bros who go on adventures only when they absolutely have to. They just want to hang out in their treehouse, play some video games, throw on a Padres game, and eat some bananas. That's the San Diegans, all right? Don't get me wrong, they love their Padres, but they have normal expectations for them. They're not out here saying, "This is our year." They know they've never won, and likely won't because they don't have that dog in them, and that's okay. They're just happy to go to some games, eat some dogs, and live a great life, because they live in San Diego. I mean, you know, in this case, they live in the jungle, but you know what I'm saying. Are they Chargers fans? Kinda. They just, you know, they'll keep up with them, but I don't think it's really in their best interest because they know that the Chargers are cursed, so they watch them from afar. I think really they're Padres fans, and they really enjoy watching chill baseball games. Oh, here's a fun one. Waluigi. I mean, everything about this character is how he is misfortune. Misfortune follows him no matter where he goes. Like, he thinks everyone else cheats but him. Nothing ever goes his way. Woe is me, and the world's against me. But to be fair to Waluigi, that kind of is the case. Like, they won't put him in a mainline Mario game or even in a WarioWare game. Like, I understand the mainline Mario game, but not even in Wario's second spin-off game that's a minigame collection? He can't even make it into that? Really? The gods just hate him. So yeah, obviously he's a Minnesota fan. Vikings, Wild, Timberwolves, and Twins. He's seen every heartbreaking loss from the Vikings over the years. He doesn't trust any kicker, and he has yet to see the Wild make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Like most Minnesotans, he loves his team so much, but he has a special place in his heart, specifically for the Vikings. I have a buddy in real life who just stopped watching Vikings playoff games over the last 2 years because he knows he's going to be disappointed. And he was right. I mean, 2 years ago, they lost to the Giants when they won their division. And then, last year in the wildcard round, they got pummeled by the Rams. Both seasons, the Vikings had like 12 wins, and I'm like, dude, you're crazy. You gotta watch. And he goes, no, I know they're gonna disappoint me. Like my friend, Waluigi's fate is sealed for an eternity of suffering. It's just so easy for me to picture Waluigi just being like, wow, everybody gets a CO championship but me, Waluigi. It's just, I mean, that's just perfection. Moving on to Toad and Toadette, well, I mean, these guys are just middling, you know? They're just kind of bland and in the middle, so naturally, they're Cleveland fans. Browns, Cavs, Guardians. And then Yoshi and Birdo, I would say if I would have to give them a city, it would be Fairweather, Florida fans. Yoshi, just specifically a big fan of the Dolphins, but Birdo doesn't care much about sports at all. But she watches her reality shows like they are sporting events and goes hard for RuPaul Drag Race. Her favorite guest judge was Joel McHale. Yeah! Woo! And then lastly, Rosalina. This one was fun because Rosalina is just weird. Like, she's nice for sure, but she's bizarre. She's like really tall and has a sad past. Super nice though, and weird. So with all that in the brain, I had to go Canadian. She's a Canadian. It's super nice but weird. I just think out of all the mainstay Mario characters, she's the most out of left field. Like, she has this intense lore, and the others just barely scrape by with zero lore. And it just makes sense for me that she's the odd man out and roots for the Leafs, Raptors, and Blue Jays. I think she would rock the hell out of a Leafs jersey, quite honestly. A little Sabrina Carpenter action, if you know what I mean. Oh, thank you. But yeah, I definitely think Rosalina is a Canadian. And there you have it, the official, canonical classification of which Mario character roots for which sports team. How do I know it's canon? Well, my uncle works at Nintendo, my aunt works at the NFL, so pretty easy stuff. I guess that doesn't really work when you're unk age, huh? Kind of loses its steam. Either way, thank you for watching. I got more videos coming up. I got a long Donkey Kong Bonanza video coming out that's taking up way too much of my time. I got a lot of other good stuff. I got a Mega Party Games WarioWare GameCube video coming out. Maybe even a little Chibi Robo. Stick right here, find out. Go check out Rams Brothers the Pod as well. Horns up, go Rams. Let's have a great football season. Ugh.